Hello, I'm back. Yep. I know this doesn't sound a whole lot different than the opening for my cosmetics channel, but hey, it's me. Anyway, I wanted to let everybody know that this one, the first book, has been reformatted so that it actually covers the page. Unlike when I first put the first one that came out, it was way small on the page. It has been reformatted. Cover is the same. The hardback edition is out, and the ebook edition has been out. That's nothing new. The Shifting Views, which is my shifter book with the final title, the collection of poems and short stories with a shifter theme, is out because I have submitted some of the pieces in those books, in that book, to some other publishers. I was only allowed to publish in print. So I've got a hardcover and a softcover of Shifted Views. I wasn't going to take my chance to miss some short story stuff going into a larger publication. So next year it'll come out in ebook, but hardback and softback with that one. Next, my car died. We literally just got finished paying off new wheels, new tires, brand new suspension, shocks, and struts. Literally just got finished paying that off, and the water pump blew. And we said, nope. It's an old car. We've done enough. She was good to us for a while. Time to go. So, in the meantime, we are learning the public transportation system in our little town, which actually is not too bad. Don't mind the voice. It's like I've got allergies going on and I've been coughing, so it's all scratchy and nasty and all that stuff. Anyway, instead of doing what a lot of people do in these circumstances, which is do a GoFundMe, we decided to do a little legit commerce. And some of you have probably heard, because they're all over YouTube, of people making low to no content books. So we decided to give it a try with our own little twist. We did a bunch of low to no content books, but on the covers of the books, we did some of our original art. Things like the sketchbook has got one of my watercolors. The Gamers hex grids, I've got large and small grids with lots of pages. And I put some of the artwork that's got kind of a fantasy adventure format on the front of it. There's some plain journals, which is just lined pages, but I put a lot of pages in them. I make it worth your while. But there's images of things like some of my craft work and some of the photographs we've taken of specimen plants in our garden. They're not just, random stock pictures of bouquets or something. We've got prayer journals that are rather generic, and we've got dream journals and just plain old write what you want journals. The dream journals and the gratitude journals and the prayer journals are all prompted so that, you know, you get some idea of what you want to kind of write down. There's a day planner, which is a little on the expensive side from what I can tell looking at some of the journals. But it's on the expensive side because the interior is in color. So, and there's a lot of, you can do about a quarter of a year with this day planner. And there's enough extra pages in it that if you have to scrap a whole day, you've got plenty. You don't have to cry about it. And that one's got some fantasy art on it from my husband with kind of an alien looking figure, but he's setting time on multiple clocks. It's really cool. We've got recipe journals that have all manner of pictures on them. I mean, there's one that's camping themed, and one that's family recipe themed, and one that's called Straight from Mom's Diner that's got this guy in a fore and aft white hat and a white apron passing over a plate at a diner. I know. And, you know, things that are kind of like a Yuletide gratitude journal. That's my husband's concept of Christmas present, the spirit Christmas present, and one that's just a fancy set-up table that's for recipes from your family for people to collect. And most of this stuff is in paperback and hardback, so you have choices. You know, if you want somebody to have one of these quote-unquote treasury books where you've put all the family recipes, but you don't have a lot, give them the paperback. You know, that kind of thing. I've got music journals that you can write your own compositions in. There's one that's got like a piano and a violin that's just got bare staves. And then there's one that's got a lute player on the front, and it's all guitar set up with the tabs. And yeah, I went crazy. I want to try and make enough money to help get us another car. I don't expect it to buy me a new car. I would just like it to be enough to get another car. So, you know, there's a lot of people who buy journals. So I went crazy, and we've got about 20 books currently. If you are game happy, I have books with large hex grids and small hex grids so that you can do your maps. Gotta remember my gamers. It's like, I'm a gamer. I gotta have this. Yes, this sounds a whole lot like a commercial, and in one way it is, because I've got to manage to find a way to get a car, and I don't want to go on a begathon. If somebody is going to be of help, I am perfectly happy to make sure they are getting something in return that they want. Don't order it if you don't want it. Okay? It's like, okay, the books, the story books are selling. Not rapidly, but they are selling. I just thought I'd put some extra stuff out there. Now, I have been going through again, doing my pulling the 99-cent and the freebie books from authors I haven't read yet off of the Kindle listings. And I gotta tell you, I know Kindle has got this novelle thing where you can do, like, it's almost like a Victorian mail out chapter book. Okay? You can do these really short little story pieces and do it in a series and have it come out on specific dates and stuff. Now, I get it, okay? These are quick, they are simple, they are fast for the purchasers to pick up. It kind of puts a little more emphasis on following a story, and you get repeat customers. I get that. But please, for the love of God, or anyone else that you care about, please slow down long enough to actually edit. Edit. There are multitudinous, out of the 20 books that I've gone through in the last few weeks, there are major amounts of missing words. There are major amounts of wordos where you've used a word that's kind of sounds like what you think you're going after, and it's not. It's so far off in definition in most cases, it is nowhere near where it needs to be. There are things that are horribly misspelt, which I'm going, did you even turn on spell checker? Please, please tell me you didn't turn on spell checker. Otherwise, you need to tell your spell checker it's foobar. And let me give you a clue. There are some people who are trying to write with more erudite words than really fit their story. And on top of it, they're misusing them. Quit it. Just quit it. It takes the reader out of the story trying to figure out what the hell you meant. The punctuation is screwed up. In some cases, there is no punctuation. None. We get run-on sentences where the next person's dialogue is right after the period and ended quote marks, and the next one just runs into it, and it again throws you right out of the story. And some of the stories, I'm like, they describe the character at the beginning as somebody who's like this, that, and the other, and then you get farther into the story, and there's nothing that's saying they've encountered anything that creates the change. They just all of a sudden are a whole different person with a whole different list of capabilities. And I'm going, dude, could we make up our minds? Please. Just a little. It's like, do not start off with the damsel in damn distress and all of a sudden, in the midst of the book, turn her into a rampaging, sword-swinging hero when nobody's bothered to even show her how to pick up the correct end of the sword. Seriously. And then we have the ones that are completely the opposite, where they start off supposedly knowing how to do all this, and they turn into wusses somewhere in the middle and can't remember which end of the dagger is sharp. Okay? And they like all of a sudden are doing squeak and run whenever there's something going on. Make up your mind. Are they a wuss? If they're a wuss, carry it all the way through. If they're a kick-ass, carry it all the way through. Please. Oh, and then some of you people who decide you're going to write some sex scenes, please, for the love of all things holy, please get some anatomy lessons. Now. And don't keep trying to switch between his manhood and a cock, or a dick, or a penis. Children, if you are going to write a sex scene that is detailed, pick the style you're working with. By the way, his manhood is actually in his spirit, not in his pants. All right? If it's a cock, keep it a cock, move on. Commit. Just, if you're going to do this, frickin' commit. If you are working with the other's pussy, vagina, cunt, whatever, pick and stick. That is not her womanhood. That is part of her spirit. This is a body part we're talking about here. And yes, the clitoris does actually exist, and it does get pissed off if you ignore it. I don't care how you decide to call it, clitoris, bundle of nerves, I don't care. But pick and stick. If you're going to write even mildly graphic sex, commit. Or don't do it. Just close the damn door. Okay? Okay. Yes, I get really pissed off about that one because I have been watching people going from rampant cock because he's so cotton picking aroused or hard as steel to his manhood. And I'm like, what the hell? Tain't neither. I can even deal with the vagina being the core because you are going into the core of the body. I get that part, okay? Okay. But could we please just pick and stick? If you're going to write it, commit to write it and write it well. But please, get some anatomy lessons. You can't do some of these positions you people are talking about. I don't care how many fantasy books have pictures thereof. Unless this is a multi-jointed alien of some sort, specifically designed to do these funky contortions. You can't do it with a human body. The other thing is with where did the hands go? What? How many hands does this father mucker have? How many? I mean, we got one person with a hand up the core. We got one person. We got the person with hand up the core, hand on the breast, hand behind the neck, hand behind the leg, and I go, wait. This is all within one paragraph. Where are all these hands coming from? What angle are we working with? And you're like, dude, could you just give us a little more information, like he moved this hand to there, so that we don't think that dude's got 4 hands and got them everywhere, including at odd angles that would break the wrist? Lord have mercy. And yeah, I get that some of the fantasy stuff does cross over between times and that kind of stuff. But a Victorian society does not have to-go cups and cardboard cup holders and little lids with little drinking spout things. There was no description whatsoever in this particular book that any part of this was particularly steampunky or cross timelines or anything like that. We're all talking about somebody losing their reputation as a nice Victorian lady because she showed her ankles to having to-go cups. To-go cups. And let's not forget the fried dough sticks fried, put into a paper bag with little tubs of icing to dip. Okay. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I don't want to know what they were thinking, because it would make me crazy. It's like, I will tell you, I am not perfect. My editor knows I'm not perfect, but come on, people. That just drives me up the wall. It really does. This thing of literally not editing the book, not looking for messed up words, not looking for misplaced words, not looking for grammar even. Come on. A little bit of editing is not going to slow you down that much on these projects. Really. And let me tell you, if I haven't done at least one round of editing from my own perspective, on my own work, if I send it to my editor raw, I'm gonna get beat. It is not the editor's job to do the simple stuff. It is not the editor's job to go back and look and go, this scene does not belong here. It is not the editor's job to do typos or wordos. That's your job. If you're writing, that's your job. Anyway, my husband says dinner's ready. So you know what? Go be good people. go write something. Bye.